Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Lockdown Powerlifting. In reality, semi-lockdown powerlifting is probably more appropriate to the current state of affairs. The gyms have recently reopened here in the UK, and I've been doing some of my sessions in the gym. It's actually great to be able to split my training across my home gym and the gym. The home gym is definitely great from a convenience point of view, and it allows me to replace the time I would otherwise use to commute to and from the gym with extra recovery time. On the other hand, going to the gym is also very good. It allows me to train with my friends, which is often a very underrated part of powerlifting training. It is true that powerlifting is an individual sport. I mean, you're by yourself on the platform when you're competing. However, training wise, it is definitely a team sport. It is very important to have people around you when you train, not just to spot you, but also to motivate you when training is tough, to help you with your technique, and to provide you with a little bit of friendly competition, which is certainly important in order to keep improving and progressing over time. Another great benefit of being able to go to the gym, in addition to training at my home gym, is to avoid getting too attached to certain equipment. I mean, when you compete, you never have the same warm-up room or the same platform. I mean, the combo rack might be the same, but there's always going to be something different. There's going to be a different way to get to the platform, a different scenario to look at. It's never going to be the same. And if you're always training in the same environment, there is a risk of getting too attached to certain training conditions. And at least personally, I find it very useful to mix the training environment quite a bit. Training wise, things have been going very well. I've just recently finished another training block, and I am currently 6.5 weeks away from my next competition, which is gonna be the British Equipped Championships on the weekend of the 26th and the 27th of June. By the time I'll be competing, it will have been 18 months since my last competition, which is probably the longest I haven't competed since I started powerlifting. And there is definitely a risk of me forgetting the commands when I'm on the platform. This training block actually started relatively light. I have been in a caloric deficit during the last couple of weeks in order to lose some quarantine kilos that I put on during the last few months. So training had to be planned with that in mind. And even though the block started relatively light, it progressed to some of the best training sessions I've had on squat and bench. That was another particularity of this training block. There were no top sets, but instead top sessions. On the squat, that top session was 3 sets of 2 with 247.5 kilos. Squat has actually been feeling great recently. All that time spent rebuilding it during the previous blocks was definitely worth it. And I will hopefully be able to increase my raw and equipped squat personal bests this year. On the bench, that top session was also 3 sets of 2, but with 147.5 kilos instead. Just 100 kilos less than on the squat. Pretty much the same thing otherwise. That was definitely a volume PB with that weight on the bench. And on top of that, I did all the sets with a self lift off, which is much harder for me than having a lift off. And finally on the deadlift, that top session was 5 triples with 257.5 on the conventional deadlift. Not a new personal best, but quite a heavy session nevertheless, especially after squats. So all in all, I am very happy with this last training block, and it puts me in a great position to start pushing training a little bit more, leading to my first competition in a very long time. Anyway guys, we've reached the end of the video. As always, thank you very much for watching the video. I hope your training has been going great during these last couple of weeks. See you next time and stay strong.